gonna start a clothing brand from scratch and try to blow it up in 30 days. I have no experience, no connections, or any knowledge on the business model. I'm gonna document the entire journey from manufacturing to designing to advertising and of course making money. The clock starts now. To start out this challenge, I linked up with my boy who was going to start this brand so I can ask him a few questions. This is going to be his brand and I'll kind of be documenting the whole journey in the back.
What's your vision for this brand?
I mean, like I've mentioned before,
First things first, state your name and occupation.
my name is Justin and I'm an entrepreneur.
So why do you want to start a clothing brand?
Because I've always wanted to have like a little personal brand and I've kind of built up that following a little bit. I've been in the fashion industry selling like streetwear and shoes,
sure.
so I think I have some pretty solid experience there.
Okay.
So we got to work right away, and the first thing on our list was to pick a target audience. With how saturated the clothing brand market is, you need to niche down and dominate in that niche. And it would only make sense for us as entrepreneurs to target other entrepreneurs, since they most likely have more money to spend than the average consumer.
Real quick, what niche do you want to target?
So I have been doing a little bit of research. Just the niche that I'm most experienced in is in general like entrepreneurship. So I want to target basically myself, like young entrepreneurs.
Okay.
And next, we had to think of a brand name. And this was super important because it would be the face of the brand forever. You have to make sure it's not too corny, but at the same time, not too similar to other names. And after a few long hours of brainstorming, he finally thought of the perfect name.
The brand name that I came up with is Broke Boys.
I'm not the biggest fan of it, but it'll work for now. The next few hours were spent creating the perfect logo with some fancy text.
I also created a logo myself. I didn't want anything like super like complex. I wanted something a little basic. I was just looking around for some cool fonts and I found this like handwriting font. I literally just typed in Broke Boys and that was the logo that I'm going with.
And we called it a day at that. So the next step is of course creating some clothing designs for the brand. The design of your clothing is equivalent of choosing your product when dropshipping. It has to look good and this isn't something you could speed through. Here's what Justin came up with after a few days of sketching and designing.
You created some designs, right?
Yeah, so I made all my designs myself. I probably cooked up a total of like 3 or 4 different designs and then I ended up getting a t-shirt and a hoodie sample.
This was all done through Photoshop, and I would say that for someone with no experience in designing, this was a pretty good job. And here's where we had to make our second big decision of how we were going to manufacture the clothing. Now, there are many ways you can go about this. You can do print on demand, screen print on your own, fulfill orders locally, but all those are very expensive choices, leaving almost no room for profit. Most people in our position would do print on demand to save face and risk a lot less money. But the issue with that is much longer shipping times and not the best quality clothing, which is exactly what you don't want when starting a clothing brand. In our case, we decided to order a bunch of stock in bulk from China since it'll cost much cheaper per piece and shipping times will be much quicker. Of course, you need to have much more capital to take this route, but in the end, it's definitely worth it because you'll be making much more money. And it was kind of tough to find a manufacturer in China since there are so many choices and there are a lot of scammers. But after a while of searching, we finally found the one and ordered a few samples for the designs we already had. And let me tell you, they were expensive, much more than I thought they were going to be.
How'd you find the supplier?
So I literally just went on YouTube and TikTok and typed like clothing brand suppliers. There's a bunch of people that were selling them, you know, for like $5. I was like, yo, like I'm not about to pay $5, like feel me, but just a little tight, you know. So I found someone who had like a list of a bunch of free suppliers. I ended up messaging a bunch of them, asking to see pictures of stuff they've done in the past, and then I just made my decisions and went off that and picked a few.
And we also needed a website. Now, neither of us were good at website design, so we just dropped a cool $100 for a guy on Fiverr who was able to do it for us.
The website, I seen the website. How'd you get that?
You know, I was just scrolling on TikTok, getting my dopamine in. This one dude popped up. He was like, yo, if you need a Shopify template, like tap in. I was like what's this bro cooking, right? So I DM'd him. I was like, hey, LOL. I ended up getting a website template off him. I did my own little changes on it.
The samples arrived literally 2 days later and they were looking super sick. Although there were a few issues, the manufacturer sent us a sample with a few design flaws, which didn't match the design we sent them. But that was really no issue. We were sent another sample free of charge and were able to get the issue resolved.
Samples are in.
Trying to show them?
So
This the tee?
this the tee right here that we got. It is a little bit messed up because it's a little hard to communicate with them, but I got the Broke Boys logo right there. There's like a language barrier in between us, you know, so it's a little bit difficult.
Okay.
But we got the logo right here. It's black on black, so it is a little hard to see.
Show the back, show the
And
back.
then the back says recipe for happiness.
Show the back. Shit.
So this is the hoodie we got. Says I did nothing, I just got lucky.
Yeah.
And on the bottom, on the little pockets, it says Broke Boys, the lucky clothing company. And I think I'm gonna change up this design a little bit as well.
Nah, I mean, bro, it feels good. It feels amazing.
The hoodies had a little design up front and a graphic on the back with heavyweight material and a washcloth finish. The tees were basically the same with a different design on the back. I personally thought it looked pretty cool. And our next step was to take some pictures for the websites. I recommend taking them with a nice background, preferably concrete. And this is how they turned out. We were finally ready to start marketing the brand. Now listen, we aren't working with a crazy craziest budget. So the plan here is to create some organic content and hope for it to pop off, and maybe even try experimenting with paid ads. The important thing here is knowing how to capture an audience's attention with short form content.
What's your marketing plan?
Basically, since I do have a pretty low budget of $1,000, I want to try all organic, re-uploading those TikToks onto Instagram Reels, and just basically spam posting in hopes that one of them blows up.
This can save you so much money in the long run. Big companies are paying people hundreds of thousands of dollars to create organic content in hopes of lowering ad costs from free promotion. This just shows how beneficial the skill of capturing an audience's attention can be. And in our case, it would basically make or break if our clothing would sell out. So we got to creating some content, and this is how the first few videos turned out. You have to follow current trends carefully and hop on the next trend as quickly as possible. It also helps if you use a trending sound. Also, it was important for us to upload consistently leading up to the drop to hopefully get that viral video. And like mentioned previously, the goal was to announce a launch date to build up some hype in hopes of a sellout and a big bag.
Big question and very important question is, what's your time frame with this? Like, when do you want to drop your first collection?
I mean, I know there's going to be some delays. I have to get samples from overseas, all that shipping times. It's going to be a pain. In a perfect world, I want to drop in a month.
So most people, when they launch clothing brands, right? Usually it's like some print on demand, you know, garbage or whatever.
Yeah.
But it seems in this case, you want to launch something that's more exclusive, that would actually sell out.
Yeah, of course. Everyone wants it. Hard to get, limited.
I love that.
That's kind of the vision that I have for it.
I love that. Okay.
So we just announced a release date, which will be on October 10th. We are still posting reels every day, with each upload getting better than the last. Justin now has to make another big decision of how many units of clothing he wants to order, because remember, we aren't doing print on demand, so we have to order stock prior to the drop. This was a tough decision because it would cost a lot of money, and if he orders too many to where he can't sell them all, he'll just have a bunch of leftover stock and lose a bunch of money. On the other hand, if he orders too little and the drop sells quick, he'll be missing out on a bunch more money he could have made. And after careful consideration and thinking, he decided to order 100 t-shirts and 50 hoodies. And let me tell you, the price tag was hefty. Stick around till the end of the video to see how much he spent. And with just days before the release, I was super excited. Okay, so today is launch day. The site is ready and good to go. Unfortunately, we did not get that viral clip we were hoping for, but we did build up an audience, which is perfect, and the people definitely want it. That's what we need, some support and some actual converting customers. It's been a wild journey. Kind of crazy to know that all the work will either pay off or be for nothing. I would love to see how this performs.
Today is the day of the drop. I am pretty excited, also very nervous. No idea what to expect, but let's get it.
Yo, bro, it's bad right now, dude. This site's literally broken. I don't know what's going on. Bro, it's actually bad.
Wait, what are you talking about? What do you mean? Are you trolling?
I don't know, for some reason all the colors and everything's like all mixed
No
up. Like,
way.
The page and all the buttons, everything is all
No
white,
way,
and
bro.
like,
Basically, what happened was the store went live, and for some reason the colors got mixed up and the customers couldn't see the checkout button. Thankfully, that was fixed pretty fast though, and after about an hour of the store being live, we were able to rack in over $750 in sales, which isn't bad at all. Justin also sent out some free merchandise to a few celebrities he's connected to in hopes that they would post a flick on their story promoting his brand.
I also am pretty well connected with a few D-list celebrities type B. You feel
Okay.
me? So I'm gonna send a few of them t-shirts, maybe some hoodies, basically in exchange for a post, and see if, you know.
And also, he created a few Facebook ads just to see where you can get with those. I went to bed excited about how the next few days were gonna go.
All right, so it's been a couple of days.
We've been getting a good amount of online orders and have just hit $2,000 in sales.
So yeah, I would like to say that so far, this is a successful drop, and I wouldn't have asked for anything more.
We've already tried Facebook ads and those didn't do too well, but we have one more trick up our sleeve that we think is gonna work. Speaking of marketing, you tried Facebook ads. How did those go?
Could have gone a lot better. Pretty much got like 2 sales between TikTok and Facebook paid ads combined. So it was just a fat waste of money. I lost a few $100s just by testing those. I did learn a lot in the process about TikTok and Facebook ads. I do think it has a lot of potential. I just gotta tap in with that.
I think organic growth is definitely the move compared to paid ads. But what if we tried to create our own little pop-up in hopes of getting some sales? So we decided to try that. Justin reserved a spot at a local convention and will hopefully get some sales there.
Alright guys, so today is the day of the pop-up. I got a clothing rack right here, got a few of my clothes on there. But basically what it is, it's like a huge event. There's gonna be a bunch of vendors there selling shoes, their personal brands, but it's mostly vintage clothing, so we're gonna see how it does. It was around $175 for the day, for the entire booth. Yeah, let's see how it does. Hopefully it does good. Let's get it. All right, guys, so the pop-up just ended. I'm still here in my car. It was like 12 hours of work, just constantly talking. Unfortunately, it didn't go as planned. People weren't rocking with us. Not sure why. I don't know. It was a good learning experience, and yeah.
And the next few days were all right. Sales definitely started to slow down noticeably, but eventually we sold out of all 50 hoodies, which was a huge milestone. All right, perfect. Well, what's going on, bro? What? So what was the total revenue like so far?
Right now, I'm sitting at around $5,600.
Sheesh. Yeah, so how much money did you make from this whole endeavor?
So far, I am sitting at around $1,100 profit after all expenses paid off. So now anything that I sell, whether it be t-shirts or hoodies, all that is 100% pure profit.
Sheesh. Yo, that's not bad at all, actually. What were the expenses, matter of fact?
A few of the expenses were obviously I had to order 3 different samples just to perfect it before. And then, I mean, obviously the bulk t-shirts, bulk hoodies, that was a fat chunk of the expenses.
What was the total cost for like all the clothing?
It was a little bit over $1,900 for the t-shirts and a little over $1,600 for the hoodies.
Wow. How do you feel after this insane success? How do you feel, man? How do you feel? You must feel euphoric right now.
It's about a few days after my first initial launch, straight off the bat, it went pretty good. So, I mean, I'm not complaining,
So as you heard, we made over $1,500 in profit from this business model in 30 days. That's not as bad as I was expecting, and I had a lot of fun trying this out. Of course, a lot of time went into this, and Justin is playing the long-term game with this brand. Quick disclaimer, I am not affiliated with this brand in any way. If you want to check it out, the link will be in the description below. And with that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video, I'm sure you would love this video I made about dropshipping. Go watch it. Peace out. Okay, so what are you about to go blow this money on? You about to go hit the club?